I got the. Is that another side too? Jesus. I got the hanger shoulder pad things. How do I fix this? Am I supposed to just spray water at it? Hey, my bad. You know, Amazon's definition of best quality is apparently, 480p. So to my eyes, they just look like two long-haired 480p blonde dead white people. I thought they were the same dude. People have feelings about the jammers. People have feelings about the jammers, okay? We may not see eye to eye, but in these troubling, unprecedented times, I just want you to know that we're all in this together. And I have something that can unite all of us from our different religious and sexual backgrounds and orientations, and we can all really just come together and share common ground and break bread together and forge a new path together as one, unified, under the knowledge, under the fact that Carol Baskin straight up murdered that dude. I don't think she fed him to the tiger. I think, if you remember when her brother, who's that sheriff, who's like, oh, what? It's 3 a.m. and your car broke down and you were getting milk? What? I'll drive your car the rest of the way. My partner will take you back home. Come on. I think she killed him and her brother helped her get rid of the body. But however he got disposed of, Carol straight up murked that guy. All right, back to the butcher. So, I was going to say, I have to pick a new guy. We'll see what this says. I was going to say, I have to pick a new guy. Seth died. And I was going to say Lopez. But I don't know if he's already dead at the start of the episode because of the Mars. I want to live to see Mars with the ocean. I don't know if that's that's his death rattle. So I don't know if I could be on Lopez's team. So maybe Alex is my dude.
Especially in the Medina.
Medina, that's the Medina.
You're pretty good too.
Umbele.
They paid you to lure him down to the Medina so they could jam up a cop.
Passion fonsa come.
Come on, me without my wallet.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. I don't know what you'd really have to gain by that. He's an outsider. I mean, unless he's like super rich back on Earth, but whatever. That's kind of a stretch. She got visibly upset at that, so I don't necessarily think it's true, but it could be true. Good thing I didn't pick Lopez as my guy.
Did you get enough sleep, princess?
What am I looking at here? It doesn't look like his... Okay, it doesn't look like his bone is contorted. It looks like something is stuck in there. Okay, so like shrapnel, all right.
Come here.
You're out of this glove? You want to bite on this glove? Okay. All right, that was a bone. Okay, it looked like a piece of crystallized debris. It looked like metal or something, but it wasn't metal. It was a bone. Okay. Word? At first, I was going to wait to see how it went, but I'm like, you missed it. At first, I'm like, you just clearly missed the spot that it should have been on. All right, it makes sense. And he's calling him sir now. It's kind of nice. I think it's clear he's stepping up to be. It's clear he's stepping up because he cares so much about the crew and came back for them. They're respecting him more now.
Then who just sent us a message?
See, what happened was I forgot to use my VPN 11 years ago.
Anderson Station, this is UN-1. Are you ready to surrender?
Survivors of the
Who's the girl?
Donninger. My name is Fred Johnson, Director of Operations at Tycho Station.
That didn't... Okay. 11 years ago, wouldn't... It could be Julie. Don't really make sense to be Julie, because she came from the super rich dude. Some new chick. The only other white chick I know of is that prostitute from Ceres, but that doesn't make sense at all to be her. I don't know who that is.
You offered us help. We have
You
to go
good,
somewhere.
Naomi? You good? Are you good?
Where?
Okay, hold on. Let me listen to this dialogue one more time. Okay, I just had to rewatch that to like understand what was being said here.
Got any other ideas?
But I like this scene. I want to talk about this thing
But
right
it's a
here.
lifeline. I say we take it.
So he mentions something.
We're not going
Naomi counters
to
that,
Tycho.
and then it cuts to Amos, and he looks back at
Any
Holden,
other ideas?
and then he steps aside. So I think this is also playing when Alex says "sir," right? People are gradually giving this guy a little bit more respect. If you remember, I think it was the second episode. Yeah, it was the second episode. The chamber episode. Well, it was the second episode where he's very clearly, I would kick you off this shuttle if it didn't make her mad. And then further on, he has the gun to the back of his head. I think, hey, just say the word, right? But at least here, okay, I'll let you keep speaking. Even though you guys are in conflict, I'll let you at least, I'll give you the respect at least to talk it out. I think that's kind of nice.
You can't trust Fred Johnson.
I mean, clearly she knows who Fred Johnson is.
We all know what he's capable of.
That was like 10 years ago.
That was like 10 years ago? Hold on. Let me just listen to his voice again. And then let me go back to the shuttle real quick. Let me just see something real quick. Let me just see something real quick.
This is Anderson Station. Go ahead.
Anderson Station, this is UN-1.
Shh. Okay, there's a lot of distortion there. Shh. Just let me think.
Survivors of the Donninger. My name is Fred Johnson, Director of Operations at Tycho Station.
This is Anderson Station. Go ahead.
Anderson Station, this
Is this the same dude?
I don't know who you are or what your intent may be, but unless you're trying to start a war, you need to contact me.
Go ahead.
Anderson Station, this is UN-1. Are you ready to surrender?
Tycho Station. Survivors of the Donninger. My name is Fred Johnson, Director of Operations at Tycho Station.
Go ahead.
Anderson Station, this is...
I think this is the same dude. Okay. All right. Which would make sense. Introduce this because this is your theme or tying everything this episode together. Okay. So this dude did something to those dudes a decade ago.
Or what your intent may
We gotta go somewhere.
Amos,
Oh. Didn't look too happy about it though. But and then hopefully as more character development happens, whatever, we can see why that relationship exists between them. That'd be cool to know.
Be back on in a minute.
Of course it is.
Uh-oh. All right. I lied. Look, guy reminded me of Jamiroquai. Virtual insanity. What are we looking for here?
If he runs, shoot him. And if he accidentally falls out an airlock, that's life. Havelock is one of us. This is still our station. Let's make sure that people don't think otherwise.
Yeah. Okay. That kind of plays into... Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. It kind of plays into the, I think in one of the episodes, the cops don't really play by the rules, and the people don't trust the cops. And then this just further shows that how vague things are, and they feel justified in doing that. But the more that they push back, the more the people will resist them. I mean, if they can go around, yeah, whatever. That's not by the book.
You know, everything going on out there, all this shitstorm that we're in, it's all got to do with her. Julie Mao.
Okay, I'm listening.
You know that memory crypt?
He's
that we
actually
took down
right.
That stiff?
He does. He's actually right, and you know, of course, they make him say that line like that, but he's actually right in more ways than he knows, which is just nice.
Right? Called the Anubis. Anubis. The Anubis left.
And I like how they get him. I like how they make him confused as the saying of that. It makes him seem a little more uneducated, a little more real and believable. That wouldn't be something this guy would know. It makes sense that this character doesn't know how to pronounce that word, right? It makes sense that he doesn't. And it's unnecessary, right? You could completely cut those lines out, but it does help properly paint him when you look outside his window, when you look at the tiny apartment he's in, when you look at the cracked phone, when you look at his shirt, right? He's got the same shit I do, right? His shirt isn't like all there. His like belly button is out because the shirt is peeled back. It's meticulous attention to detail.
I'm listening.
And yeah, that's that unbuttoned and then the shirt being pulled apart there. It's a costume
Memory
center.
crypt that we...
Okay, right. I was like, what, is Julie's on that? No, okay. Julie's on the Scopuli. This ship called the Anubis. The Anubis left Phoebe carrying something, or it left something there, which that guy potentially would know what that was, which could be a reason to kill him. Anubis left Phoebe heading for Eros.
Okay.
And Phoebe was the station that Lopez said all the people had been incinerated and then refrozen, or something like that. It's classified. It's G14 classified.
Okay.
So the Anubis could be related to the third-party faction, the Mormons. Could be related to the Purple Mormons. Julie intercepted that. They got tangled up. Maybe explain how that Martian transponder got there. Third party wanted to reclaim that tech or make sure there were crashing this plane with no survivors. Make sure there were no survivors there. That could make sense. And the Anubis, this is a fitting name. Anubis, the god, Egyptian deity of mummification and death and the afterlife, and that being the name of the ship which is starting all of this death. It's cool.
Miller, maybe this is above your pay grade.
Look at my pay grade. Everything is above my pay grade.
I need you to listen very carefully.
Oh yeah, straight up, that's him.
Threats.
I like the overlay they're doing with the video grain, and then in the top right, it's like security cam footage, right? So it could be you're viewing something in the past, right? And they do the dream sequence with the overblown color palettes. This is kind of achieving the same effect. This is just cool. So these people rioted, or these people went on strike, some type of workstation, and one of the station managers accidentally fell out of an airlock. It was probably an accident. But then that kind of, was a clear delineation between the two groups here. And these guys are the ones that came in power. And then now they're being treated as hostile by UN1, United Nations. I mean, we all know whatever his name is, Joseph Anderson, is capable of, so maybe it doesn't end well for them. That's a nice scene. This is a nice scene. He doesn't say anything, but it shows he's respecting his heritage. And it shows he's respecting the Martians that sacrificed for them. And it's also, I think, kind of telling that he's the only one here. He saved all of them, but only Alex is the one paying his respects to Lopez. It's a nice scene. And I also like how he agreed with Holden, but he doesn't want to disrespect her in front of other people. And so he's bringing it up to her directly, which I think is nice. And that kind of, again, further plays into that scene when Holden and Naomi disagreed and he sort of turned away from it. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. At the end of the day, I got to agree with her for whatever reason. And then he does it after the fact. This is cool. Neville Bosch. Permanent tracking, legal status, unaffiliated, independent Union of Maritime and Related Workers, tariff evasion second class, private possession of AXS capable jamming system, union mediation, tariff evasion second class, tariff evasion third class.
We don't get distracted from back home.
I really like that. I like the dialogue. It helps really sell their differing viewpoints. And Lopez, I think, really helps sell Martian's view on Earth. And that was just a really good speech, and he sold it pretty well with the inflections on words. But the line where Miller says, and what's your point, right? Even if he agreed with him, he can't show that he agrees with him. They come from two differing, ideologies, essentially. But that last thing that he said, it just stays on his face for about 5 or so seconds. And try as he might to come across as impassive or uncaring. And what's your point again, right? Try as he might to come across like that, like it doesn't affect him. It clearly does bother him.
I want to find out what happened to her just as much as you do.
And this also plays into the dialogue from earlier about how he approached, I forget her name. He approached the captain, but she didn't believe him. And his old girl, I think that was their relationship. It seems like they were together before, when he has the one guy at the bar move away from her, and then the way that they converse and she just lets herself into the apartment. It seems like they were together before. When she says, you need to bring this to the top, and it kind of comes across as condescending. Here's someone that he can actually talk to, that actually believes him, that wants to know what's going on with Julie just as much as he does. And that's intriguing.
Why we need to surrender.
Subtitles kind of gave it away there. Explosion, all screaming. Oh, there's no sound effect. Oh, okay. All right.
Show Daddy house manual. Okay? Okay.
Good move. And keep her focused on that while you... Yeah. I don't like where this is going. Fred!
Emergency in the belt as serious.
And that also paints him a lot more. That also sets more context for the negotiation that they had in that little shuttle, the monorail looking thing, when the Mormon is asking him, hey, we're going to have to go with somebody else. It paints that in a much more menacing light. If what I think is going to happen happens, being locked in a shuttle with that one dude where he stops it and they're just in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you know, there's stations on our side, but you get my point. It kind of repaints that. Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Oh, is that his face?
Hey.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. And I'm really interested to know what happens here. He's different than most of the other cops of the Star Helix. And even the captain is like, hey, you know, if he, you know, falls in an airlock, then, you know, stuff happens. That's life. So I'm interested to see how he handles that guy. I'm interested to see how he handles that guy, like what he chooses to do. When clearly it appears if the rest of the Star Helix would just try and off this guy.
Know her.
Oh, right. Okay, he's going to get the other guy. Okay, so can someone clarify this? The pilot and the dead Moore guy are two different people. They just happen to pretend to be the same guy? Is that what's going on? Could someone clarify that?
Tech Noir, level 14.
Tech Noir.
Ask the clerk for a shirt.
Yeah, Tech Noir. Yep. That's the club from Terminator. A lot of things use that name. It's kind of nice. I like him getting the picture. I was actually going to say this, and then he found the picture, and then it really crystallized. There's a possibility that Julie and Miller's Julie are two different people. I mean, okay, not actually two different people, but he has an image of her in his head of her being different than how she is as an actual human being person. He has an idea of Julie, and this guy kind of helps sell it, right? She's on the run. She's a lost girl. I need to protect her. She doesn't know what she's getting into. She just likes to help people. She's a light in the world. And I need to protect her, and people who don't protect her are sort of evil or negligent people. And this guy is even corrected. He's even corrected him like a multiple. I'm like, no, that's not Julie at all. She was like this, or she was like this. She was very hard-headed. You couldn't talk her out of things. She was hanging around with hardcore OPA people. And him finding this picture of her, I think, really makes me believe that more. At first I was like, okay, maybe not. But then he finds the picture. I'm like pretty sure. It's kind of interesting that he's painting a mental picture of Julie, which doesn't actually represent who Julie is as a human being. It's like this idealized version of what he needs Julie to be, if that makes sense. I don't know if that does. It makes sense in my own brain. I had to pause and take a real deep breath because I'm like, this suit looks completely worn in, right? I mean, the edges are dirty and stuff, like it's worn in. Is the plastic still on? That's why I had to pause. I'm like, okay, well, maybe not. It could be, it could just be like a see-through thing and you can see the key card there or whatever it is. But I'm like, with these ripples, did this dude leave the plastic on there? People who do that, you're out of your mind. You peel it off. If it's on a microwave, you peel it. If it's on a computer part, you peel it off. Ugh.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Imalo that not listening.
What do we do?
No one outside of the station and that one guy know.
Station's
Oh, that's how people know, because this is security cam. Gotcha. And the parallels between this and Holden are pretty obvious. And the fact that they're both going through presumably the same person is supposed to... They're not going to ally, I guess, right? Given his track record and how he handled this. Here's Holden, with his face basically almost identical framing to this when he did that. I don't know. It's cool. The parallels between the two stories. The Butcher. The Butcher of Blaviken. Ah! It's hard to tell with the spacesuit there if he felt any remorse for that. But maybe. And that, whatever. I could just be projecting. But I'm trying to figure out how would a colonel end up as an OPA leader. And you could imagine that being a turning point for him as a character to evolve and grow past once he actually seed, okay, here were the orders were to subdue terrorists and stop this from being a thing and not give in to any demands and set the precedent moving forward that we don't negotiate with that. Clearly, they didn't want the message to get out, right? They would have, rather than message not get out. But the treatment of how they forced him to do it, or maybe he did it on his own, autonomously. I don't know. But the treatment of how they forced him to do that maybe caused him to resent them and then caused a rift, and that is how he became an OPA leader. I have no idea. But it's kind of cool that in his message, because he has a history of working with similar situations, he can send them a message and give them encoded instructions and like, hey, you guys don't need to turn on your shit and give yourselves away. Beltalora, I got you, fam. Just do this, put this in there, we'll be fine.
Screaming fire off. Yeah, let's advertise that we're a gunship. Flying out.
In order to finish updating the transponders, Windows is going to need to shut down your computer right in the middle of whatever it is you're doing. Don't ask questions. Still got to charge. Don't worry about it. Got to get your matchsticks, right? Or your lemon peel, whatever it was. I really liked the story of this one. I think I kept pausing and talking about it, but I think the story, the script writing is just supremely on point in this one, in my opinion. I think the different parallels between the characters and what happened in the past, like with Holden and then the station, the fact that you're not sure how Fred is going to reply. Well, I'm not sure. You guys probably know. The fact that I don't know how Fred is going to reply to them. It's possible that he's aggressive. It's also possible that he's changed from what happened at Tycho. Like he became a different person, hence the OPA thing, and also play into Holden's line of people change. On the ship, they show everybody sort of having their moment. He looks at the photo, he's drinking, Holden's got his coffee, and then it shows Naomi still being uncomfortable. She doesn't get her, like, she doesn't come full circle. Miller, there's still the plot thread of him going to that safe house. He got jumped by some people. I'm not sure who they are. I was trying to imagine, okay, so he's put the thing in his hat. So before the episode ends, the hat needs to get taken. Or that needs to be a thing, and then they just put a bag on his head. So, okay, makes sense. But yeah, the Julie Mao thing is more interesting. The Julie Mao thing is interesting with the photo. I think, to my head, I think the photo really solidifies that idea. But yeah, a lot of the nuances in the dialogue and the way they talk down or talk up certain people, there's not a lot of action that happens, right? There's not any big set piece battles or anything like that, but this is probably one of my favorite episodes so far. Just the density and the quality of the writing. Like I don't know. I just really like this one. I want to call attention to that. This was just godlike. Dialect coach, linguist, key aerial rigger, writer's assistant, choreographer, dialogue editor, sound effects editor, music editor, sound assistant, penguin and a Varga. Yeah, I just watched through the credits just to like see who the people were. Whatever. Hey, I think they did a good job. Let me at least sit through the credits. Yeah, I don't really have like a funny line or anything. I just think this one was really good, and I'm excited to see what develops off of the foundations laid on this one. We didn't even we didn't touch on Earth at all, in the sense that we didn't talk about the Indian lady and that little story there. But yeah, no battles, but it's probably one of my favorite episodes just because of how good the writing was. That's it. Episode 6 coming up soon.